Hey everybody, I'm Michael Curtis, the Director of Product Development for Dungeon Crawl Classics, and I am here today to welcome you to the wonderful world of DCC RPG, that weird and often exciting fantasy role-playing game that has been around now. We're going on 11 years. The last 3 years have been very interesting for the role-playing game community for many reasons, but it just seems lately that a lot of people are discovering Dungeon Crawl Classics, and I just want to welcome you to the party. Welcome, join the band, as we say here at Goodman Games. So you're going to find a very interesting experience with DCC, and I hope you find it to your taste. So it's a little different than what you might be used to, but it's a wonderful gaming system. Uh, I'm here, however, today to specifically talk to you about DCC Lankmar, which is a line of products that Goodman Games puts out in cooperation with the Fritz Leiber estate. Now, Fritz Leiber is a very influential member of the fantasy role-playing game, the fantasy literature genre. He's the one who actually coined the phrase sword and sorcery. His most famous characters are probably Fafhrd and the Grey Master, a pair of rogues who live and adventure around the city of Lankmar. And we have had the opportunity to adapt his stories into the DCC role-playing game mechanics and allow you to kind of create your own versions of that. So if you're the type of gamer who really enjoys, say, like fights in foggy alleyways and running across rooftops, being chased by the city guard, or prying the jeweled eyes out of an idol, and then having to flee as the idol comes to life and tries to squash you for your heresy, I think you're going to enjoy DCC Lankmar. It's very much that gritty sword and sorcery stuff, much less so than, say, Lord of the Rings or Michael Moorcock. So if you want to get started in DCC Lankmar, the first thing you have to pick up is the DCC Lankmar box set. Now that is basically everything you need to play in a DCC Lankmar game. For the players, it has any sort of like rules tweaks that we have. Still uses the same rules mechanics, but we do offer game options that to make the setting a little bit more in that fantasy genre. For example, we don't have a fuddle. You start with what's called a beat, and that's where a bunch of first level adventurers get together, a la the same way that Fafhrd the Grey Master met in their stories, both trying to rob the same thieves. For the judge, it has all the background you need about the world of Newan, where Lankmar is set. Also has a great, stunning, full-colored map of the city of Lankmar, as done by Doug Kovacs, which will base all of your initial encounters, a system for creating your own neighborhoods, for running city encounters. Even if you're not doing Lankmar, you're going to find new spells, you're going to find new gods, new monsters, everything that can be ported over to your DCC campaign. So most useful, most useful. You also find the first level adventure, No Small Crimes in Lankmar. We're going to get to that in a second. So after you have the box set, what I suggest you pick up is the adventure DCC number 9, which is called Grave Matters. The reason to get this is because it has two adventures in it. It has a second level adventure, which will come in handy a little bit later, but it also has the Madhouse Meet, which is an adventure which is designed to introduce to kick off a DCC campaign. Has all the characters get together, trapped by this evil wizard who has nefarious plans for the city of Lankmar. They break free, overcome his minions, and they now have a reason to adventure together, and possibly a very powerful enemy who's out for them. So after running that, then I would say No Small Crimes in Lankmar from the box set, which involves the characters investigating rumors about a lost treasure which is hidden on a city street, on a back street. They go in there, and things, as are wont to do in Lankmar, aren't always what they seem, and sort of unexpected things happen. And it's up to the characters to figure out how to get out of this house with the treasure involved. After that, the next step I would take, for your character should be about second level at this point, and I would run Mercy on the Day of the Eel, which is a fantastic adventure by Brendan LaSalle. DCC Lankmar, although Lankmar stories themselves are, like I say, very gritty sword and sorcery, there is an element of the weird that shows up every now and then, and Mercy of the Day of the Eel contains that element, which you might not have fully expected at this point. The characters are tasked with recovering a map from a certain nefarious group. They get their hands on the map, and there's more to the map than what appears, and things get a little two-dimensional. Let's just say it that way. And then it's up to the characters to figure out how to make things right. And then after that, if you're looking for a third level, I would say that after you run Mercy of the Day of the Eels, you can also go and now play the second level in Grave Matters, which involves a group of smugglers who are basically operating outside of a funeral parlor. So the characters have to get in there and deal with strange things in embalming vats and basically recover a sarcophagus of one of the nobles of Lankmar. So it's a classic heist. Uh, so at this point, you're probably now third level, and what I would suggest is picking up the Greatest Thieves of Lankmar box set, which was originally done as a Gen Con tournament, and so it is a massive amount of gaming material. You have rules for kind of rooftop chases. We got an excellent map. You're the patrons of Fafhrd the Grey Master, Ningable of the Seven Eyes, and Shilbo of the Eyeless Face show up in there. They're kind of moving things behind the scenes, so you're really kind of getting into the Lankmar background at this point. Some of your world is getting bigger at this point. I will warn you, however, that it was a tournament adventure, so can be very, very dangerous. So if your players aren't smart and careful, may have a higher body count than normal. So that might not be for everybody. So what I would suggest as an alternate is pick up DCC Lankmar number 3, which is Acting Up in Lankmar, which is a favorite of mine. And I wrote it, but for other reasons than it. If your players are a little bit more into role playing, dealing with NPCs and kind of planning and strategizing rather than having to react to things, DCC Acting Up in Lankmar is the adventure for them. They're charged with kind of a theater troupe has angered a local noble who wants to shut them down, and it's your job to keep the show running one last night. Although the noble has nefarious plans, so it's kind of my homage to my own background in theater, but also classic siege movies like Rio Bravo or Assault on Precinct 13. So also some great role playing opportunities to the point where the characters may find themselves strutting the boards at one point. So that basically gets you from levels 1 to 3 in a DCC Lankmar campaign. There's plenty more out there. I would suggest put an order today, especially if you're interested in DCC Lankmar number 3, because we're running out on the print run of that. So if you want it, better pick it up sooner rather than later. So that's it. Thank you very much for your interest in DCC, and now hopefully your interest in DCC Lankmar. By all means, welcome to the party. I'll see you at the Silver Eel. So take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.